All right, we're back again, and I should have set up my camera before this, I guess. It's not working. Just a second. So for some reason, my webcam just died. You know what? Forget it. Let me just make sure that. Yeah, it's not working for some reason. I don't know what's this on the screen. Anyways, if it works, it works. Anyway, thank you for joining again. Sorry for the start. So today we're gonna be working on the shoes of this guy. Since we already had a bad start, I'm gonna just jump in. So I did a few things off stream that I wanna. All right, I did a few things off stream. I just set up a proper cam angle. So let me show you. I like this camera a bit more. Like the other one was showing a bit more to the side. I don't want that. And I put the moped behind him. I just repositioned everything for us to have a better composition. So control space, just to show everything back again. So control space on any viewport, you can enlarge it and see everything's happening. And all right. So let's start with the shoes. I haven't done shoes before. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select everything and hide. We don't need anything here. We're gonna shift S cursor toward origin just to make sure that we're on the center of the world. And let's go shift A, mesh, let's start with the cube. So what we need to do is just do one shoes. We can mirror it. And there are different ways to do that. For me, I think I'm gonna do the basic form of the shoes first. Then I'm gonna probably poly build or like extract mesh. I'm gonna show you like this technique. I'm probably gonna do for poly build. So first things, let's do the proper scaling. I think this is too big. We can scale it at the end if you want, but let's just go for something like 20 centimeters for now. We can still scale it in at the end of this. Then let's go to edit mode by pressing tab, press T. So this is the poly build tool. You can see here it was telling us that we're in the poly build tool. We don't want that. I want to go to the select tool, press faces, and I'm just gonna go to the top view. You can press 7 to go to the top view, or you can, while you're moving around, you can just press Alt and sorry, while you're moving around, you can just press Alt and then press G on the X, I guess. We're just gonna get to the basic shapes. So one to go to the vertices, and let's start to shape the shoes quickly. Let's go for I don't do these from references because that's not, I'm not trying to create a perfect shape. I'm not trying to like do likenesses or anything. I'm just trying to get inspired from what I'm seeing on the screen, and then maybe with some references, and just take it from there, you know. So I don't really care about the details, the stitches, like whatever is happening in here, I don't really care about. A lot, I just want to do something that look like a shoes, that acts like a shoes. This is shoes. I'm still bothered by the camera, the camera not working. I'm not sure what's happening. You know what? If I disconnect and reconnect, it's a webcam, and then if we go here, oh hello there. So it seemed like it was not properly set up. Okay. So perfect. Just all I want to do now is just capture the basic shapes, and I'm trying to be as fast as possible because I don't want to waste too much time on this. So Control R to add loops, G to move stuff, and it's just going by the vibe now. Control R, add loops in here, Alt Z, move things around. I guess this is working fine. I don't really care about doing exactly the shoes, so we're okay. G on the Z. The thing about shoes is that they're not symmetrical because the feet has like this kind of a shape. It looks like a banana something. So we don't really need to. We can't just mirror stuff. I'm just trying to get the basic shape, as I said. Later on, we can either it's like just doing a car. So you can either extract the panels that you have in here, or you can just poly build them. And I will show you how to poly build as well, probably if we use that technique here. So it's just modeling. So this is a few things that sometimes I doubt myself for, like that probably we shouldn't be streaming because that's just the process. But you know what, since we're documenting everything, and I can take advantage of this time to tell you that all of these assets are on my Patreon for free, or they will be in the future if they're not yet, because I'm still working on them. I'm probably gonna drop today the generators that we did in the past few streams. I'm working on them. I was working on them yesterday, and I'm gonna continue working on them tonight when I'm done with this stream later. Then you can go grab them for free. You have to sign up. The sign up is for free. There is a paid membership, and the whole point of what I'm doing here is just to show everyone that there is something that we call creative living, and creative living is the idea that you specify some part of your day or like some part of your time, it doesn't have to be daily, to follow whatever you're curious about. So it's curiosity, not passion. That's so important because passion is a really hard concept to grasp, and not everyone knows what they're passionate about. Anyway, I don't even know what I'm passionate about. But you know what you are curious about and what you're interested to learn, so do the stuff that you like. It doesn't have to be art. It can be fixing cars, it can be gardening, it can be playing chess, whatever it is, writing, music, dancing, playing basketball. Do it daily, do it monthly, do it weekly, however you want to do it. Just do it constantly and without any expectations, without any rules, without like expecting it to pay for you or like to provide for your family. Just enjoy it, have fun with it. They called it leisure time in the old days, in the Roman days, the Greek days. It can change your life. And that's the idea. So this is what my Patreon is all about. I'm trying to spread out this message as much as I can. And here we try to stream what I call this idea of following your curiosity is what I call explorations. So in here I'm just sharing with you my personal explorations. Yours can be different. So it's not always 3D for me. Sometimes it is sketching. Maybe in the near future is gonna be some coding because I really enjoy coding, especially what we call procedural coding, like geometry nodes, P5JS. I never did Houdini, but Houdini is also procedural coding. Rhino, like computational architecture, all of these cool stuff. Anyways, so I'm just trying to fill. I'm just trying to get the shape here, and it's probably looking fine for now. So again, you can either use the panel method, which is like you use whatever you have in terms of geometry, press Alt E, extrude faces along normals, and just add more details. Or you can do something called poly build, which I'll get to later. For now, I just want to keep on getting the shapes working. I'm probably thinking that we can actually go about it without even having to poly build the shapes here. So this thing is attached to this thing. So this is one object. So we can just prepare for that. So these are actually separate objects that are sewed together. So they are not the same object. G, Shift Z just to move this a bit inwards. Then double G just to slide it. Or probably also G, Shift Z just to move this on the X and Y, not the Z axis. And the same thing in here, just for me to push this outwards as much as I can, or probably just on the X, not even on the X and Y. And so what's happening in here? We have this shape going inside and this shape overlapping this. So you have like different shapes. So what we can do is I'm gonna save, I'm gonna create a new object, I'm gonna create a plane. I'm gonna show you the poly build technique. So I'm gonna create a plane. First of all, we're gonna turn on snapping. We're gonna put it the face project and align rotation to target. Then we're gonna just move, just make sure that, yeah, the snap is working fine. Just move whatever you want it to move. All right. So the base object is a bit low poly, which we can, I think we should increase it a bit, not a lot. Just let's fix a bit the proportions. It seems a bit too flat for your feet to fit in here. Although men's shoes sometimes can be extremely weird in proportions. That's because our main character is kind of like a big guy, so I don't want to be like, I don't want the feet to look so weird, so I just try to. Alright, so our snapping is still on. We need to turn it off because it's affecting the things. So now what we need to do is, you know what? Instead of poly building, which I was talking about, so I'm gonna add Z in this mode. I'm gonna delete that. Instead, I'm gonna separate these faces here. So press C to paint the selections. C to paint the selections. So yeah, it kind of something like this, plus these guys. Yep, probably something like this. Yeah, I'm gonna P selection. So now we have this separate from this. And then we can go to edit mode here. We need to push. Didn't we separate this just now? Oh, we still have some objects. All right, let's undo. Go back to face mode before separating. So we still need to grab these guys and this in here. We need cavity. I'm gonna turn off cavity a bit because it's darkening a bit the screen. Let's go for something a bit gray so we can see a bit better. So this is the selection that we want to work with. Press P, selection, right? Now what we want to do is press again, also the wireframe could be a bit darker. So press tab 1, select these two objects, scale on the Y by a little bit. Then we can grab these guys, they're too thick. So we can pick these guys here. I think we can do an Alt S, which is scaling by normals. It's just working perfectly. Then we can add some loop cuts here and one in here. Then need to push this upwards a bit. So remember, these are overlapping, they're not attached. So we need to push this up a bit. And then we can Control R, add a loop cut here. And you know what? Instead of doing this, which is instead of adding the thickness ourselves, I'm gonna delete these faces and I'm gonna delete the inner faces by pressing L. So everything linked is gonna be selected. I'm gonna delete those faces. And now what we can do is just add a solidify modifier, press Ctrl A, apply the scale to make sure that it works properly. Add a bit of thickness, just a little bit of thickness. Then we can add more information on the second object. Press Z, Alt Z, G on the Z, tab here, G as well. So we're working on two different sides. We need to make sure that it looks good on both sides. We can add some more loop cuts here and here, and we can push this downwards, add a loop cut here and here, and push this downwards as well. We're gonna push this up a bit. Somebody here is having a fight with their door for some reason. My neighbors seems to be upset. All right, it's looking fine. Let's try to alt while dragging just to make sure that it snaps to a certain orthographic view. And I'm just making sure that everything fits. I'm trying not to touch the bottom row here, although it's not looking perfect, but I can fix that in the end. I can join everything back and fix it in the end. And now we can do an Alt Z just to see what's happening. Move this a bit up and move this like this. Then we can fill these faces here. G, Shift Z. We can slide this like this. So it's all visual. There is nothing concrete in here. We're just trying to create the feeling of a shoes, because I'm not trying to do any likeness or anything that looks perfect. Just one of the effects. So I'm gonna shade auto smooth. I'm gonna remove this the wireframe just to see what's happening. The solidify is a bit too thin. Let's make it a bit thicker. Now we need to probably add some more information here so I can make the holes for the laces. So let's move this up. Move this a bit back. On the X, I think we're almost done with this. It looks fine for now. On the Z axis, we can create like a better silhouette here. So it looks more realistic. G on the X. We can grab these, make them a bit bigger like that. That's looking fine. Okay, just make sure that yeah, that's good. Just jumping between different objects now. Just making sure that everything's looking good from all sides. You can always add subdivision surface, but we'll do that probably in the end. Control save, of course. So Control 1, you'll add subdivision surfaces, but we need to identify which edges are sharp edges. So that's important first. I think the sound is too high. All right. Again, let's do the holes now. Making sure that everything looks fine. You can always go to sculpt, pick the G, the grab tool, and move things around. But you have to always remember that shoes are not symmetrical. Even if we go here, pick Y, you see they're not, my geometry isn't symmetrical. Just gonna play with the shapes a bit. It's looking fine, everything's looking good in here. All right, let's save. Now we need to do the holes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's around 6 holes, starting from somewhere here. So it should be, we can do less than 6, but so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'm gonna do 5 for our purposes. We don't need more. Let's pick these guys, push them a bit here. Let's pick these guys. Without these, also push them a bit forward. So we need 6 faces. There are different ways to do that. I think I'm gonna separate this panel or this face. Yeah, let's separate this guy and this guy here. Just making sure to see. All right. Okay. It is somewhere like this. It goes like this, and like this, right? Right. Pretty sure there are better ways to do that, but we're just winging it now. So this goes like this, and I think instead of doing that, I'm gonna, or we can keep this. I'm gonna turn off the solidify for a bit just to see what I'm doing. We can remove, Ctrl X this edge, and we can fix that to be something like this. And we can add a loop cut like this here, here. We'll need it anyways for different things. So let's cut around, and you have that. Perfect. Now, what do we need to do? Okay, this looks good. So now we have, these are working fine. This is going down. This guy here going down like this. So we don't need that edge and this edge. But first we need to cut this to preserve this shape here. So we don't need this and this. Ctrl X. We probably don't need this for now. I'm gonna delete it. Okay. We can do this, and I think topologically we're fine. We have this shape here. We can fix it. We can go this type of topology. So we don't need this edge, but we will need to connect, and it's actually easy. We connect this to this, and that's it. We can do the same thing here. Connect this like that, and delete this, and go back to the knife tool by pressing K, and we can move this outwards. So what we ended up with is this guy here that we need to add holes to. So we can either do this by Boolean or we can do it by geometry. I'm probably gonna do it with geometry instead of Booleans. So first let's fix the shape as much as we can. I'm gonna go to side view. I'm gonna press tab. I'm gonna go to sculpt mode. Just gonna adjust these shapes a bit. It's the messiest way to do issues. Also, what I'm noticing in here is that I have a very sharp edge, so I'm gonna bevel it. Then I'm gonna pick these two edges. I'm gonna slide them. So probably I'm gonna scale on the Y, something like this. And I'm gonna move a bit on the X. On the X, not on the Y. Something like this. So far, so good. We can pick these guys. G on the Z like this. We can always relax everything. No, this is smooth. It's not very recommended. What we can do is actually, I think there's a relax. Not here. So probably we can go to sculpt mode, T, mesh filters. There's relax here. If you just reduce the strength a bit and just drag, it's a bit too much. Let's go for 0.01. Filter mesh. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, go back to sculpt mode, GF. Just before cutting the holes and overcomplicating things, I'm just making sure that I have at least the silhouette working. Okay. Yeah. Could probably be a bit longer, and this also can be shaped like this. So I'm just trying to make sure that we don't have any surprises after we add more details to the shape. So whatever you're doing, whenever you're modeling something, just make sure that you get the big shapes first before getting into all the details, because once you start going in details, it will be really hard to fix things, because you'd have much more geometry and much more stuff to worry about. You probably have to redo some things, whereas now it's just easy pushing things around. Okay. That's working fine. And that's working fine. I'm gonna go back to edit mode. I'm gonna add some more edges in here. Go to the bottom view. Just make sure I have a bit more information in these areas where we need them. Just like this edge. We can also bevel it. Something like this. We can sculpt again, relax these here. So I'm just smoothing actually, so I'm pressing shift. And down here it is looking fine. Alt Q to, so you just hover above an object, you press Alt Q to change the selection while you're still in the sculpting mode or edit mode or texture mode or whatever you are in. You have to go in and out to object mode by pressing Alt Q. You'll save yourself some time. Alright, go to edit mode. Sometimes it's just easier to do things with edit mode instead of sculpting them. G on the X, on the Y. G on the Z. Then pick this. Move this on the Y inwards. Pick this, move these on the Y inwards, move this on the Y to the inside. Also these guys, I can go a bit inside. That's good. And just make sure everything is working fine. It's never easy to do shoes. It's just like doing hands and feet. Hand, feet, shoes, gloves, whatever. Everything that goes with the hands and feet is a hard item to do because it has a lot of different nothing is symmetrical. The topology is really hard to grasp. It's just a bit challenging. So this is why you always see me making sure that these are the last things that I worry about. Because they can suck the joy. All right. Just make sure that this looks. So sometimes when I do like shoes, I tend to have like some sort of a bend in the design. It doesn't look normal. Just making sure here that I don't end up with the same mistake I usually do. Alright. Alright, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna duplicate this, so I'm not gonna mess it up. I'm gonna press shift. I'm gonna take these guys. Then we're gonna P to separate them. We're gonna delete this. We're gonna unhide everything else. We're gonna change the solidify to be to the outside, so this is like a lip in here. I'm gonna make this a bit smaller. We're gonna go to edit mode for the shoes. Move this something like that. And move these something like this. Double G, then Alt to slide it outwards. Same thing here. Alt Z, or probably just on the X, that's fine. Alright, great. Let's isolate these. So we're gonna do a couple of holes. What we're gonna do first, we're gonna go instead of Boolean. I wanna do this with bevel. So every point I'm putting here, I'm not sure I'm gonna use this, we'll see. So every point I'm putting right now is intended to be a hole. And that's probably it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're not gonna use all of them. course, we're not gonna use all of them. These are sliding down, so we don't need them. We just need to reposition it. All right, let's unhide all just to see it. So this is too far back. We can use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, that's good. The issue is they are weirdly spaced. So let's try to space them a bit differently. Pretty sure there is an automatic way or an add-on to do this. So just make sure that at least they look fine, they look good. 4, 5, 6. Probably I'm gonna do 5 also, not even 6. I don't think this one will look nice. So let's push this inside. Same thing here. So when you're sliding, you're not changing the topology a lot. Just trying to keep this and this fixed. I'm trying as much as possible to make the rest look as if they're equal, although they're not. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We don't need this, and we don't need this. This and that. So Control X. All right. Now we need to pick these edges without this. Yep, that's perfect. All right. And these like this. Control Shift B. Something like this. Right click, loop tool, circle. It's not gonna work like this. All right, so you're having some weird things happening, and that's because I think it's trying to make everything a circle. So probably, just let me try again. Control Shift B, something like this. Then if I pick only these, loop tools, circle, best fit. It's not working. Control Shift B, something like this. Right click, loop tool, circle. Oh, the influence is 0. Sorry. Right, so let's try again. I don't know what happened. Control Shift B. Pick one of them, right click, loop tool, circle. And let's see. If we zero this thing, we remove the radius, fit inside. Yeah, that's working fine. So let's Shift R, which is repeat the last tool. I'm just gonna pick all of these guys, Shift R. Loop tools, circle. Shift R, press C. Pick them. Sorry. Press C, select these. Shift R. C, select. Shift R. So the Shift R here is just repeating the last command. And the same thing in here. So now that we have these circles, we can pick these faces. I think we can delete them actually, and we can just reclean the topology. But I'm not gonna do this. So instead, I'm gonna pick just the center face here, the center face here, Then we're gonna press Ctrl plus. Today doesn't seem to be working. So that should, yeah, it worked. So all I'm trying to do is just, so I had the one face selected. If you press Ctrl plus, what the hell is happening? Ctrl plus, yeah. That's reselecting one more face. Then we're gonna press Alt E, extrude along normals. I'm gonna probably do this. What's happening? Alt E, extrude along normals. So the auto merge is selected for some reason. I don't know why. Alt E, extrude along normals. Shift R again. Then insert a bit. Something like this. The solidify is behaving weirdly as expected. So it seems that we extruded outwards instead of inwards. So let's do this again. Alt E, extrude along normals, inside. Once, Shift R twice, keep it, insert. Something like this, yeah. So we cannot solidify anymore because it's trying to solidify even the thicknesses here. We can do some workarounds. We can just pick the, go to tab, pick the edges, pick these edges. First of all, deselect everything, pick these edges. Alt Shift select. Make sure that you have everything selected. Then you can extrude and right click. Then you can scale on the Y by some thickness. Then you can Ctrl F, grid fill. Closed loops are unsupported. You're gonna pick everything, press Ctrl, press M. By distance, the vertices are merged. Okay, so let's select each side by itself. So Ctrl F, grid fill, that worked. I think we were trying to fill both, like to fill like a loop, like a bridge. Doesn't work. Ctrl F, grid fill, and that worked perfect. Then we need to pick everything, or at least pick one side, move it on the Y, a teeny weeny bit. Same thing here, G on the Y, move it a bit. Okay, G on the Y. Let's add a loop cut here. G on the Y a bit, something like this. Same thing here, G on the Y. Yep. That's working-ish. That's working fine. Now what I want to do is I want to slide these up. It's not sliding up. Slide up, yeah. It's fighting me. I'm not sure why. Alright, That looks fine for me, for now at least. Go to sculpt mode, let's just smooth these sides a bit more. And let's push this inside a bit. Instead of doing this with the sculpt tool, let's do this by hand. And then actually, let's make sure that this is aligned. Let's give it a bit more thickness here. And what I want to do also is I want to pick the faces here. I want to Alt S. I want to scale everything out a bit. Go to sculpt tool, just smooth it a bit, or probably just in edit mode. Yeah, that's looking good. Okay, I think we're almost done with at least the basic shape of the shoes. We can still add more details. What I want to do here is I want to pick these guys. I'm gonna scale on the Z by 0. And I'm gonna move them on the Z down. Same thing this. I want to pick these guys here. I want to scale on the Z by 0 just to make sure we have straight lines. Same thing here, scale by that, Z on the 0. Then we can go to sculpt mode and just fix this a bit. Let's see it with different shadings. So this is how it looks in rendering, although it is a bit lit because of the shading, the lighting setup. So we can still add some more details. Let's just, so this is going straight here. I don't want that, that's too much. What we can do is we can grab this, push it like this. We're almost done for today. The laces are easy. We can just do it with lines, like curved lines, and give them some profile. So I'm gonna do the laces probably off stream. What we can do here to add some more realism is we can grab these edges. So what I'm gonna do, let's isolate the selection, and that's gonna take some time. So the first one, the second one, you know what? Let's first Shift D, duplicate this, isolate it, tab. Now this is the messiest way to do any 3D object, but this is a fast way also. So it's a different approach. I think I could have probably just selected the face, the edge inside. It wouldn't have had these issues because it's just a continuous loop. So yeah, for the next time, still only have one edge. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna separate the selection. I'm gonna delete this. So we have these guys. We can do different things to them. We can select edges, all. We can extrude. We can Alt S. But we have to see on which edge we're doing this. Alright, so it's not gonna work. We can select everything, right click. In the mesh tool, I think there's an offset edges. Let us see. Scale it down. Yeah. Again, there are different ways to do that. Follow face, edge range, angle, depth, angle. It's working fine. I don't know what's happening in here, dude. Anyways. Then I think what we can do is we should be able to fill it, by the way. Ctrl F, mirror fill. Delete the solidify, of course. What if we convert this to a curve? Then okay, you know what, let's do it differently. It's not gonna work. Let's convert this thing. Convert, where's the convert? Right click, convert to a curve, then go to the curve, go to the bevel and just 001. Shade, right click, dude. Alright, so I don't think we can auto smooth this because we are in curve mode. And anyway, it's not gonna show. Alright. One last thing that I probably want to show you. First, let me make sure that everything is looking fine. Z scale 0. The thing is, the other side. So, what's happening here is much nicer than what's happening here. So, I'm gonna see if I can respect this, at least the idea of it. So it's just about, I think, rotating these guys like this and moving these guys. Yeah, this looks better. And finally, are we still online? Yes, we are. All right, I'm gonna pick this guy. I'm gonna select these edges. I'm gonna bevel it a bit. Pressed Ctrl space by mistake, but that's fine. Dude. Okay, you know what? Just anything would work now. This is fine. Sculpt mode. Let's push these guys up a bit. Looking perfect. And I really wanted to create this, but I'm out of time. You know what? Let's try to do it. Let's do this. Let's bring back. So I'm gonna Shift D. I'm gonna isolate selection. All right, we're gonna go to edit mode with the knife tool. We need to, so it is something that goes like this, this, and this, and then like this, probably. And here on the other side, it is, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, somewhere here. I'm not gonna do it here, I'm gonna do it like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's pick all of these faces here, delete them, put this back, let's pick these faces again. I'm suffering here, man. I'm suffering with this one. How are you today? That's looking good. Let's solidify outwards like this. Let's push this outside. And let's push this outside a bit. Okay, it's looking fine. The topology is messed up, but it's fine. And finally, we can do the last piece, which is first. Okay, let's Shift D this one. Let's isolate these guys. Let's pick a knife tool. And we probably don't even need a knife tool. We can just slide these around like this. For this side, slide this down for this side. Then we can just delete those faces here. And those faces here. And of course, actually, we can just pick the faces that we need and Ctrl I, X, delete those faces. Make sure the solidify is to the outside, not to the inside. Even thicknesses 0.01. It should be probably minus 0.005. All right. It barely shows, but that's because let's scale these. You know what? Instead, let's scale this on the X or on the Y, but without selecting these faces. scale on the Y by some a little margin. Yeah, something like this. So what we need to do next is just, yeah, we need to just subdivide it, and it should work fine, but of course subdivision isn't gonna work right away. The reason being is we need sharp edges, and it's not gonna look nice. So for now, let's undo. We probably do this on a different stream, or I'm gonna do it off stream because I'm out of time for today. But it's looking fine for now. I'm gonna do collection shoes. So we have this as the shoes. Yamraj, thank you, man, for joining now. But I have to go. Thank you so much for stopping by. We'll catch up on threads.